here to read The Real Husbands of Beverly Hills, season 1, episode 2. This is my writing. It's not as serious as some other stuff that I've written for like my creative writing classes. This is just pure entertainment drama. Let my imagination do what it does best. Run wild. So, last week we got introduced to almost everyone in the cast, and the drama really exploded at Jihoon's restaurant between him and Jaemin. And now it's time for episode 2, baby. Starting with the taglines. Hyunjin, I'll never settle for less than what I deserve. Bowman, backs can't talk, so say it to my face. Yohan, I used to be a child star, now I'm working on being an adult. Subin, I don't live a perfect life, and I'm not apologizing for it. Jaemin, money doesn't give you class, but I was born with an abundance of both. Asai, if I don't like something, I'll just compose a new and better one. Mark, once a rapper, always a rapper. I always spit the truth. Jihoon, I love my diamonds and my rosé, but family means the most to me. Jihoon, so juvenile, Jaemin says, shaking his head. I feel sorry for you, Jihoon. Get the fuck out of my restaurant, Jihoon yells. Now, get the fuck out. Jaemin, I've been to many places and talked to many different people, but never in my life have I been yelled at the way Jihoon yelled at me. It just shows his character that I sensed he had from all those years of seeing him around Beverly Hills. He is not my friend. Honey, we're leaving, Jaemin says, grabbing Jeno's hand. I'm not going to go down to your level and start screaming. Whatever, bitch, Jihoon responds. Just leave. Please don't call my husband a bitch, Jeno says, frowning. You two may have your issues, but don't call him that. Don't bother, Jaemin answers. Minho, say goodbye to Kikyu. We have to leave now. Kikyu shoots Minho a sorry look, squeezing the younger boy's hand before Minho joins his parents. Let's go. Jihoon shakes his head as Jaemin and his family leave the restaurant, heading to their car, pulling away from the place. Your date's dad is one nasty person, Jaemin says in the car. Be careful of people like Jihoon. Jihoon, I'm still fuming, but I know I've caused a scene and it's time to leave. I won't get in the way of whatever relationship Kikyu forms with Minho, but I do not want anything to do with Jaemin. What happened? Kikyu asks as the three of them get into the limo to head back home. Minho and I were talking and then we heard you screaming. I don't get along with Jaemin, Jihoon answers. I lost it. It's embarrassing, Kikyu yells. Minho loves his parents and it puts me in a hard spot that you're screaming at Jaemin. I'm sorry, Jihoon says, but whatever issue I have with his parents does not reflect my thoughts on you and Minho. If you're happy being his friend, I'm happy for you. Jaemin. Mark is seen parking his car in Jaemin's driveway before making his way to the front door. Jaemin opens the door with a big smile on his face before hugging Mark. The two best friends head inside Jaemin's house to Jaemin's kitchen, where Mark sits down at the bar counter while Jaemin moves around the kitchen. Mark. My name is Mark Lee, happily married for 10 years, 3 children, and a life of working doing what I love. I started my career as a rapper when I was a teenager up until a few years into my marriage. Now I've stepped away from the spotlight to run my own marketing company, which has been doing quite nicely. I always knew, Jaemin says as he cuts up a few pieces of fruit, but I still wanted to give the benefit of the doubt. But Jihoon is a piece of work. So the dinner you had for the kids went badly then, Mark says. I mean, I want to say I am, but I'm not surprised. Everything was fine until my party came up, Jaemin answers. I'm still having the party, but Jihoon is not invited and won't be invited to anything I throw unless we squash our problems. Jaemin, I'm still upset over the disaster that was dinner with Jihoon. I don't feel like I've done anything wrong, so I'm not going to reach out to him. But now I have to deal with the fact that Jeno is angry at Jihoon for calling me a bitch. Jeno is protective, which I love about him. Neither here nor there to me, Mark says with a shrug. I'm looking forward to meeting Yohan and this new friend of Asai and Hyunjin. I want to know if Asai or Hyunjin are still going to come to the party if Jihoon isn't invited, Jaemin says as he brings the plate of cut fruit to the counter. But it will be a fun night either way. Well, one party to the next, Mark says, eating some food. Tady's birthday party is coming up, so I want all the kids to be there. It's going to be a fun and big event. Of course we'll be there, Jaemin says. One must be there for their goddaughter's birthdays. Mark, I got married 10 years ago to a beautiful, loud, funny man, Donghyuk. He is a PhD college professor. Together we have 3 children, Minhyuk 9, Tady 7, Jinhee 3. Jaemin has been my best friend since college. We've been through everything together. It only makes sense that Jaemin and Jeno are the godparents to my kids. Here's the thing, though, Mark says. I already sent out the invitations a month ago, meaning, well, you know. Jihoon already got an invitation to the party, Jimin groans. Oh man, I can't ever catch a break with this crap. I know, but you have to suck it up for this one time, Mark replies. I don't care who was invited to your little get-to-know-the-girls party, but Jihoon already RSVP'd. I can be cordial with anyone, Jimin says. He's the one you need to watch out for. I kept it level the whole time. He was the one who resulted to screaming and using vulgarities left and right. Mark. I've known Jimin a long time, long enough to know how he acts and what his personality is. Jimin's whole life has been filled with money, so he acts pretentious at times. I don't put it past him, so I've said something to Jihoon that set Jihoon off. Jimin means well. Jimin. Jihoon problems or not, Mark's daughter's party is all about Tae. I can pretend to be nice with the enemy for the sake of a good party. I know how to keep up the right airs around other people. I don't get loud in public like he does. Well, cheers to some fun upcoming parties, Mark says with a smile. I look forward to meeting the guys. It should be a drama-free evening, Jimin says, and if it's not, I might have to reevaluate things. Subin. Subin is seen getting out of his black Mercedes-Benz and making his way into a restaurant downtown. Hello, welcome, the hostess says as he stands in front of the podium in the front. Hi, I'm here to meet someone, Subin says. Reservations for 2 under Subin Choi. Right this way, sir, she says, leading Subin to the table with 2 menus in her hand. Subin sits down, beginning to look over the menu as he waits for his guest to arrive. Subin. Hyunjin introduced me to his two college besties, and I think we set off on the right foot. I decided to invite Asai out to lunch for some one-on-one, and to discuss this upcoming dinner party we're going to be going to. Hello, Asai says, walking into the restaurant and making his way over to the table. Thanks for inviting me out to lunch. Subin gets up from the table to give Asai a small hug before they sit down and order drinks. I got a text yesterday from Jimin, Subin says, details on the dinner party happening in a few days. But I also got a call from Jihoon the other day after their dinner date. Jihoon sounded pissed, and it seemed to stem from Jimin not wanting to give Jihoon a cell number or something. Oh god, Asai sighs, taking a long sip of his water. Well, don't tell Jihoon you got Jimin's number before he did. What the hell is going on? Subin asks after they finish placing their food order for lunch. I feel like I'm in the Twilight Zone. I know nothing, but I'm wrapped up in everything at the same time. Asai. I would bet money that Jimin texted Subin to give his number after the disaster dinner just to spite Jihoon. I just know that when Jihoon gets word of this through the grapevine, it will create even more issues. I don't know why Jimin is doing this, Asai says, shaking his head, but in giving you his phone number before Jihoon, who he's known for a few years now, is going to be a problem. Whoa, Subin says, raising his hands in front of him. I don't want to be roped into whatever feud these two have going on. I'm sure you won't be, Asai explains as their food is placed on the table. But this is Jimin's way of poking into Jihoon while the wound is still fresh. I don't like that, Subin says. It sounds very vindictive. I feel uncomfortable about it. When we go to Jimin's party, I'm going to have to say something about it. Subin. The news of Jimin giving his number to me after the fight with Jihoon doesn't sit right with me. When it comes time for the party, I will have to bring it up. I want to be friends with both of them, but I can't if one of them is trying to use me to piss the other off. I'm nobody's pawn. Hyunjin. Well, thanks for keeping me company before Asai and Subin arrive, Hyunjin says. Hyunjin and Jihoon are in Hyunjin's bedroom as Hyunjin gets ready for Jimin's dinner party. How are you feeling? I want to talk to Jimin and apologize, Jihoon says from his seat on Hyunjin's bed. But I don't have his number, so I can't set anything up. Okay, Hyunjin says, taking out his phone. He does a few taps on the screen. Because this shit is ridiculous, I'm sending you Jimin's number. Are you sure? Jihoon asks as his phone chimes with the new text notification. Jihoon. I think it's big of Hyunjin to be giving me Jimin's phone number, but I know that Jimin will have something to say about it. Once I call Jimin, there will be no way to keep the secret. You know he's going to find out, Jihoon says, tilting his head. Well then, I'll handle that when it comes, Hyunjin says, aka tonight. I'll tell Jimin that I gave you his number and deal with the situation. Ugh, I love you forever, Jihoon says with a smile on his face. The sooner I can get past this, the sooner Kiki will stop being so upset with me. Hyunjin shakes his head as he finishes deciding on the outfit he's going to wear, changing into it in the closet. Hyunjin. Jihoon is my good friend, and I'm friends with Jimin, so I want the two of them to get along. I know they're capable of putting the dinner fight behind them, so why not give a little nudge to speed it along? This is for the kids. For the kids. What are you going to do for the evening? Hyunjin asks, stepping out of the closet once he's finished changing. Probably sit at home, drink some wine, cry about being left out, Jihoon answers with her eye roll. Dinner with the family and probably drinking wine with Junkyu. Well, this dinner tonight is going to be either good or bad, Hyunjin says. Asahi texted me saying Subin is going to ask Jimin about why he got Jimin's number before you. Oh, that bitch, Jihoon exclaims, a purely calculated move on Jimin's part. But I still want to meet with him to apologize for my actions. That pretentious asshole. You sure you still want to apologize to him? Hyunjin laughs. Bitch? Asshole? Did I lie? Jihoon asks with a shrug. The two of them leave Hyunjin's room when Hyunjin gets a text that the others have arrived. Well, I hope you three have fun tonight. Jihoon. It does make me feel a little bad that I'm getting left out tonight when everyone is getting together. Jimin may have his vindictive ways, but I'm still going to apologize to him for how I acted at my restaurant. The ball is in my court, so I'm throwing it. Hyunjin gives his boyfriend Jongin a kiss goodbye as Jihoon and him walk out of the house to meet Asahi and Subin at the limo. I'm sorry you're not coming, Asahi says, giving Jihoon a hug. I'm not happy about it. It's fine, Jihoon says with a smile. You guys have a good time. Get to know the new guy. Fill me in on the details if anything happens. Okay, see you later, Jihoon, Hyunjin says as he gets inside of the limo. Have fun with your kids and Junkyu tonight. Bye, guys, Jihoon says, waving as the limo pulls off to Jimin's house. Jihoon shakes his head before getting into his car and driving home. Jimin's mansion is set up for the dinner party. The dining room set up for the guests. The chef is busy cooking the dinner in the kitchen. Jimin walks with Jeno down the stairs into the kitchen to inspect the food preparation. It already smells amazing in here, Jimin smiles. Jimin. The dinner party is here. I hope everyone can welcome Johan and Subin into the group. I don't feel bad that Jihoon won't be here tonight. I'm not ready to talk to him, but soon we'll have to settle the problem. The doorbell rings, signifying the guys are arriving. Jimin walks to the big front door in the entryway, letting Mark and Bowman inside of the house. You guys look amazing, Jimin smiles, giving them both hugs. Come in. We can sit around the living room and have some snacks and drinks while we wait for the others. Jimin leads the way to the living room where there is a bartender behind the bar to serve and make drinks. A Jimin party never disappoints, Mark says, making his way to the bar. Can I have a glass of champagne, please? Make that 3, Bowman says. I am looking forward to tonight. Bowman. This will be the first time we all get together in a while. I'm looking forward to meeting this new friend of Hyunjin's. I hope that there is no drama this evening because Jimin's chef always cooks amazing food. Between Jimin's chef and Jihoon's cooking, it's hard to stay on a diet. Eventually, Asahi, Hyunjin, Subin, and Johan make it to Jimin's house, getting greeted at the door by Jimin. The 4 of them order their drinks at the bar before following Jimin into the dining room to take their seats at the table. Thank you all for coming, Jimin says, taking a seat at the head of the table. As you all know, this is a get-to-know-you dinner for Johan, a new friend of mine, and Subin, who is a new friend of Hyunjin. Johan, Hyunjin says, looking at him from across the table. You look very familiar. I don't remember meeting you in the past few years, but I've seen you somewhere. Johan. I was a big star in Korea and all over the world during my late child years up until my early 20s. By the time I was 16, I was performing at the Grammys, Billboard Music Awards, and MTV, as well as winning more awards for my music. He was a big singer back in the day, Jimin says as the servers bring in the first appetizer and salad for the dinner. He's the Kim Johan, child actor and teen pop star. Holy shit, Hyunjin exclaims. That's why I recognized your face. I listened to your music when I was a teenager. It's now all clicking because I remember you and Mark did a song together. That's right, Mark says with a nod. I remember our labels wanted us to do the song together and it turned out to be a big hit. Well, obviously, Jimin smiles. You two were both very popular in music as teenagers. Mark. I've known and worked with Johan when we were teenagers, but after our one single together, we kind of drifted apart. I didn't realize until Jimin had befriended a guy named Johan that he was the singer from about 8 years ago. So Subin, Bowman says as they all continue to eat their salad and share the appetizers on the table. I hear you're a model. Subin looks up from his plate with wide eyes before nodding his head. Yeah, I've been a model since I was a teenager, Subin answers. That's very impressive, Mark says. You definitely look like the model type. I'm going to get another drink, Subin says, getting up from the table. Everyone looks a little confused as Subin quickly leaves the dining room to get a refill from the bar. That was abrupt, Jimin says with a raised eyebrow. Is he nervous about something? He looks over at Asahi and Hyunjin. Was he acting like this on the ride over? He was quiet in the limo, Asahi answers, but didn't seem nervous? Asahi. Since none of us really know Subin well, maybe he's just a quiet person until he's comfortable. I think it might be that, but also that he's nervous about bringing up the phone number incident with Jimin. Jimin is a strong personality and can be intimidating to the unknowing person. I'll go check on him, Hyunjin says. He gets up from the table, leaving the dining room to join Subin at the bar. When he gets back into the living room, he finds Subin at the bar, ordering a shot of Kahlua. Hey, hi, Subin exclaims, jumping a little bit. He quickly downs the shot of liquor. Can I just have a glass of Kahlua and milk, please? Is everything okay with you? Hyunjin asks, putting a hand on Subin's arm. You kind of bolted out of the dining room. The guys are worried. Subin takes a deep breath, getting his drink as the two of them sit down on the couch for a second. Hyunjin looks at his friend with a worried look on his face. Subin, I did want to ask Jemin about the whole phone number thing, but now that I'm presented with the chance, I'm nervous. I don't know Jemin that well or how he'll react to me basically accusing him of using me to piss Jihoon off. I'm nervous about how Jemin will react, Subin says with a sigh. What if he gets mad at me? I don't know, Hyunjin says. He's either going to admit or deny using you to get back at Jihoon. I know, but I don't want him to be mad at me, Subin says. I've done nothing wrong, but I don't want to be used in his scheme to make Jihoon upset. Well, just tell him that then, Hyunjin says. I'll be there to have your back if I need to step in. I just don't know if I can do this, Subin says, scrunching his face up. I don't like the drama and somehow getting involved in it. He covers his eyes, letting out a sniffle. Hyunjin. I don't really know Subin personally aside from helping him and his husband buy a new house. During the buying process, we clicked and decided to hang out with each other more. I don't want him to feel bad about the things going on with Jihoon. This is just starting to turn into a big shitstorm. Come on, Hyunjin says, getting up from the couch. I will tell Jemin how you feel. Plus, I have something to say to him as well. Thank you, Hyunjin, Subin says, getting up as well. I'm sorry that I'm being like this. Don't worry about it, Hyunjin says. Together they walk back into the dining room as the servers are setting down the main course of the night, shrimp and salmon. Everything okay? Mark asks as the two of them sit back down in their seats. You were gone for a while. Well, I have two things to say, Hyunjin says, clearing his throat. Jemin. We're all very confused as to what is going on with Subin and his skittish behavior tonight. It's quite, frankly, off-putting and not putting him in a good spot with trying to make friends with everyone in the group. Well, let's hear these two things, Bowman says with a confused shrug. Subin and I talked a little in the other room, Hyunjin says. He wants to know if when you, Jemin, gave him your phone number, if you were using him to make Jihoon upset. It's obvious now that Jihoon is the only one in the friend group that doesn't have your cell number, and while we're on that topic, Jihoon was over at my house before the party, and I gave him your phone number, so expect him to call you. Hyunjin nods his head as he takes a sip of his wine. Everyone else at the table looks stunned for a second, processing everything that was just said. Jemin and Mark look at each other with shocked faces. Well then, Jemin says, clapping his hands together. Everyone can see that he looks slightly taken aback. I guess it is too late to get my number back from Jihoon. Thank you for that, Hyunjin. Jemin. Are you kidding me, Hyunjin? Just because we're all in the same friend circles and doesn't give you the right to give Jihoon my phone number. I didn't give it to him for a reason. Now I'm going to be getting a phone call from Jihoon sometime soon. I'm more so upset about Hyunjin's part in this than what is bothering Subin. We need to resolve this shit, Hyunjin says. Jihoon is a part of this group of friends. It is not cool to exclude him like this. I agree, Bowman says quietly from his seat. How are we all supposed to be together if there's this tension in the air? You guys were not there when he screamed at me in his own restaurant, Jemin says with a frown on his face. But we have to move forward now, thanks to Hyunjin. So you were never going to reach out to him to talk, Hyunjin asks. He can't contact you because he doesn't have your phone number, Jemin. He can always message me on social media or something, Jemin shrugs. There are other ways to contact me. Unbelievable, Hyunjin says, shaking his head. We're closer than DMing each other on Instagram. This is for the sake of your kids. They have nothing to do with how Jihoon treated me, Jemin says. He called me a bitch in front of my husband. Hyunjin. I'm starting to get annoyed with Jihoon's stance on this whole fight with Jihoon. Jemin's stance on this whole fight with Jihoon. How fucking stubborn do you have to be as a grown-ass man? Jihoon shouldn't have yelled at him, but at some point, enough is enough. Talk your issues out and move on. Jesus. I never said he was right, Hyunjin says, raising his hand, but you prolonging this shit is not helpful either. It has nothing to do with you, Jemin responds, turning his head to the side. Can we get some more wine in here, please? Don't you ever turn your face like that when you're talking to me, Hyunjin yells. I don't care if this is your house or not. You're not going to disrespect me. Hyunjin, calm down, please, Asahi says, tugging on Hyunjin's arms. Don't do this. Inside voices when you're in my house, Jemin says, shaking his head. Otherwise, you will have to leave. Kick me out then, Hyunjin yells. Kick me the fuck out then. You're ridiculous. Enough, Mark yells. Both of you need to stop it. Mark, I thought Hyunjin wanted Jihoon and Jemin to get along and now he's fighting with Jemin instead? What the fuck is going on right now? This dinner has turned into a complete disaster, creating more issues than solving them. Tell your friend to pull a stick out of his ass, Hyunjin says, turning to Mark, talking about Jihoon could have reached out to him on social media like some random. Are you kidding me? I'm taking no one's side, Mark says, crossing his arms, but we don't need to be fighting about this. Well, the bitch, Hyunjin says. Jemin gets up from his seat, walking out of the dining room. I've had it, Jemin says, walking up the stairs to where Jeno's in his office. Jeno. What is going on? Jeno asks, looking up from his computer. I heard yelling coming from downstairs. Okay, Jemin says with a shaky breath. This time, I did raise my voice first, but Hyunjin is betraying my trust by giving Jihoon my phone number, and he just referred to me as a bitch. Jemin. What is with these guys and them calling me a bitch? First it's Jihoon, and now Hyunjin is doing the same thing? Didn't you just say Jihoon wasn't right for calling me that? I'm tired of this right now. That's enough, Jeno says, getting up from his chair. Come on. Jeno storms out of his office, making his way down the steps, followed by Jemin. The two of them enter the dining room. We've known each other for a few years, Hyunjin says. DMing over Instagram isn't the answer. I never said it was, Mark yells, but why are you getting involved? Jihoon would have figured something out. How? Hyunjin yells. If I didn't give the phone number, what was he going to do? Send a banner across the sky saying sorry? Hyunjin, Jeno says, grabbing all the guys' attention. I've already had to deal with Jihoon calling my husband a bitch, and now you called him one in his own house. Johan. I thought this dinner was supposed to be for Subin and I, and now it's turned into World War III. I don't think I need any of these guys throwing me a party ever again if this is what's going to happen. Look, Hyunjin says, turning to Jemin, it slipped out of my mouth. I'm sorry for calling you that. I didn't mean it. You guys need to settle this, Jeno says. Jemin, you should have just given Jihoon your phone number. This wouldn't have happened if you hadn't been so stubborn. Are you taking their side, Jemin asks with wide eyes. Really? This is stupid bullshit, Jeno says. I love you, Nana, but come on, it's a phone number. He wasn't going to sell your information. He just wanted a way to contact you where you would see it. Hyunjin. I hope Jeno can talk some sense into Jemin so we can end this once and for all. I'm sorry for calling Jemin a bitch in the moment. Well, he was acting like one. Whatever. How many DMs do you have flooding your social media? Jeno asks. Would you have ever seen Jihoon's message in your requests? Fine, Jemin says. Well, what's done is done. Jemin storms out of the dining room, slamming the door to the backyard. Well, that ended poorly, Bowman says. Bowman gets up from the table with Mark, heading outside to find Jemin sitting out on one of the couches on the patio. Jemin, Mark says, sitting down next to him. It'll be all right. I don't care anymore, Jemin says. I'm over this. This whole night was ruined. Jemin looks around with squinty eyes. I wanted to throw a nice dinner for everyone, and this is what happens. Jemin. I never expected my dinner party to erupt in flames. I'm embarrassed that I was the first one to raise my voice. It is my fault for escalating it that far, but if Subin hadn't gotten Hyunjin to be the messenger, this might have never happened. It's no one's fault, Bowman says, but I do think I will be calling it early. Thank you for having me over, babe. Thank you for coming, Jemin says with a small smile. Jemin gets up to hug Bowman before Bowman makes his way back inside to head home. Bowman. This dinner party was a giant disaster, from the yelling to Subin acting like a scared little kid. I hope that when Jihoon calls Jemin, all of this can be finished. Let's move on from this. It's all Subin's fault, Jemin says with a short laugh. He came to the party, acted scared out of his mind, to have Hyunjin relay what he couldn't say. Not everyone can voice their thoughts like us, Mark says. I think he's not used to the dynamic of the group. Well, I'm keeping him at a distance, Jemin says. I'm going to have to watch how the mood is around that one. Mark. I think Subin did play a part in this, but somehow stayed out of the crossfire between Hyunjin and Jemin. If Subin had the issue, he should have been the one to say it. He needs to grow some balls, or else he won't survive in Beverly Hills. Let's go back inside, Jemin says. Hug it out with Hyunjin and eat dessert. Sounds like a plan, Mark says. The two of them head back inside to the dining room to start the dessert. I'm sorry for yelling at you first, Jemin says, and I guess in the future I'll be thankful that you sped up this process along with Jihoon. I don't want to argue with you, Hyunjin. I don't want to fight either, Hyunjin says. I'm sorry for calling you a you-know-what. The two of them hug each other tightly, giving each other smiles. Jemin. I'm willing to move on from this with Hyunjin. I look forward to the phone call I will be getting from Jihoon. As for Subin, I'm going to have to address his actions on a different day. If you felt so strongly about this, you should have been a man and brought it to my face instead of having Hyunjin deliver the message. I do not respect cowards. And that is the end of episode 2. Thank you for watching. And now the guys will get together. A little more drama, a little more juice has happened. I hope you enjoyed it. And I will see you for episode 3. Bye!